Part 36. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 351. On the other hand, Lu Yu's spear light did not suffer any loss at all. Bai Mo could even clearly see the smile on Lu Yu's face. It seemed as if he was saying, "You are finished." Bang! The spear light fell on Bai Mo. Chapter 0270. Bai Mo has been defeated and his ancient body has been revived. Pa! The enchanting blood flowers bloomed from Bai Mo's body, and Bai Mo instantly flew backwards, blood spilled in the air, and then the whole person collapsed in the sand. Lu Yu stood with a gun, with a bright smile on his face. He waved the red electric gun, and the blood beads on it slowly dripped, reflecting the blood-red light in the sun. Stupefied. Everyone was stunned. I don't know how many geniuses who were watching the game were stunned on the spot. Even the geniuses of the top 10 clans were sluggish. What happened? Bai Mo was defeated? Gone. Killed directly by Lu Yu with 2 shots. How the hell is this possible? I don't know how many people were at a loss. The live broadcast room was in a dead silence. What happened? After a while, someone spoke. Instantly, countless comments appeared. How the hell is this possible? Bai Mo lost, Bai Mo lost. He was gone after 2 shots. I can't believe what I saw. Bai Mo didn't even last a second, and his martial arts were destroyed. In the hall, the atmosphere was extremely quiet. Many strong men stared at the screen in a daze. Even from their perspective, Bai Mo shouldn't have lost so easily. He is the first genius. The first genius. But he lost so easily. He was knocked down directly. The night moon was across the sky, and he didn't even last a second for Lu Yu's shot, and was instantly defeated and disintegrated. This is like a fairy tale. Even the Lord of the Galaxy Palace couldn't help but sigh. This boy is really extraordinary. When many powerful men were silent, the God-given queen laughed. It seems that the so-called first genius is just like this. She sneered. I have been patient for a long time just now. Now, these ants have seen the power of God, right? What genius? Just a bunch of chickens and dogs. The God-given queen sneered, but no one dared to say anything. How to say? How to say? The facts are here. To refute is really embarrassing. The old man of the Bai clan has bloodshot eyes at this moment. He sneered repeatedly. Do you think this is the end? No. This is just the beginning. The blood of my clan Bai Mo has not been truly stimulated yet. Not yet truly stimulated? Many powerful men were stunned when they heard this. The old man stared at the God-given queen and laughed. Why bother? Actually, I might as well tell you that Bai Mo of my clan has completely revived the blood of our ancestors. 100% purity, 100% blood development. The old man smiled wantonly, looking at the God-given queen with a sarcastic look. Originally, I didn't want to expose this matter, and I had to save it for the subsequent competition of this galaxy group as a backup, but now, I have no choice. The old man was not angry, but laughed. Why bother? Today, Bai Mo is destined to be invincible. Who can be the enemy of the myth of the same realm? Countless strong men were also shocked when they heard Bai Mo's words. Bai Mo has completely revived the blood of his ancestors. That Lu Yu is dead. Not only dead, the complete Bai blood is one of the ancient bodies. Ancient body? Has another ancient body appeared? Many strong men became extremely excited. And the Lord of the Galaxy Palace was still sighing at Lu Yu's strength, but when he heard this, he was instantly surprised. You actually revived the ancient body. Mother, what is an ancient body? The girl holding the hand of the Galaxy Palace Lord seemed a little confused. Seeing this, the Galaxy Palace Lord explained. Mingzi, the ancient body is a physique that has survived across eras, not a physique born in this era. Oh, then mother, is this physique very strong? Of course the Galaxy Palace Lord touched her head. There are thousands of ancient bodies in the world, but very few can be revived. If the ancient body is fully revived, it is very likely to reach the realm of the ancestors in the past, and the strength is extremely strong. The Galaxy Palace Lord couldn't help shaking his head. She just praised Lu Yu, but now it seems that this little guy is a little dangerous again. When the God-given queen heard this, her expression did not change, and a smile appeared on her beautiful cheeks. Ancient body. In the last era, even the previous era, and tracing back to countless eras, they were just ants. Can the so-called descendants of ants be called geniuses? The Protoss is the existence that rules everything. At the scene, Lu Yu's expression was extremely calm. 5% strength, he should be dead. Lu Yu didn't bother to care about Bai Mo's life or death. With this shot, unless this guy had some trump card, he would definitely die thoroughly. Just as Lu Yu was about to turn around, a voice suddenly came from behind. 5%? Are you a little overconfident? Not dead? Lu Yu looked back in confusion. Bai Mo had stood up without knowing when, and the black and white light surrounded him, making him soar into the air. It was visible to the naked eye that the wound on Bai Mo's chest, which was originally enough to cause death, was recovering rapidly. In just a moment, Bai Mo had recovered. Then, he opened his eyes. One eye was black, and the other was white. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 352. Look, it's extremely weird. Not only Bai Mo's eyes, Bai Mo's hair also began to turn into black and white. Even Lu Yu was a little surprised by this scene, let alone other people around him. Bai Mo, have you resurrected the ancient body? He Wu was the first to speak out. He had just seen Bai Mo lying motionless on the ground and was ready to leave directly. It was extremely surprising to see Bai Mo not only come back to life, but his whole aura was even more terrifying. As a genius ranked 5th in his race, how could He Wu not see the changes in Bai Mo's body now? Many other geniuses were also awakened by He Wu's words. Revived the ancient body. His. They were surprised, and then looked overjoyed. The ancient body has revived, Lu Yu is going to die. Ha ha ha, once the ancient body comes out, who can compete with it? Bai Mo will continue to build his reputation as invincible after all. Next to him, many geniuses from powerful clans even congratulated Bai Mo directly. The ancient body has revived. Lu Yu must die now. No matter how defeated Bai Mo was before, but now that the ancient body has recovered, his combat power is completely on 2 levels. The other geniuses scattered on Tianyun Mountain were also shocked when they heard this. Ancient style. Bai Mo actually revived the ancient body. Under everyone's gaze, Bai Mo had already flown into the air, surrounded by black and white light. His breath began to surge. In just a blink of an eye, he broke through to the 9th level of Takumai. Boom! Bai Mo's powerful aura enveloped everything and locked onto Lu Yu. Now, we can have a good fight. There was no emotion in his eyes. Chapter 0271. The so-called ancient body, a sword cuts across the years. There was no emotion in Bai Mo's eyes. Anger, shame, or hatred. These are gone. Some even feel a little relieved. I originally thought that no one in this galaxy could force me to use my ultimate trump card, and that no one in the same area could beat me. Now it seems that there are still opponents, so he is not too lonely. Lu Yu looked at Bai Mo's appearance with a strange expression. This guy actually started pretending again? Your expression of disowning your relatives is so handsome. Lu Yu expressed his appreciation, which made Bai Mo's eyelids twitch. Why, I feel like this guy is not praising me. Lan didn't know when he came to Lu Yu's side. God, this guy has revived his ancient body. I know, but what is ancient body? Lu Yu was confused. He really doesn't know. Lan answered. The ancient body is the body of an ordinary genius of your time. Lu Yu. Ordinary genius physique, pretending to be like this? The so-called ancient style, is this what it is? Lu Yu couldn't believe it. Since his voice was not concealed, it was instantly heard by everyone. Bai Mo's originally calm expression changed slightly. What does this guy mean? You have recovered your ancient body and still look down on others. The other geniuses even sneered. When this guy is pinned to the ground and beaten by Bai Mo, you will know what it means. How arrogant, I can't wait to watch Bai Mo crush him. Extremely arrogant. I don't know how many people denounced it angrily, even those who had previously watched the battle silently were angry. How hateful. The ancient physique is one of the strongest physiques pursued by all races. This guy actually said this. This is so disrespectful. In the live broadcast room, there is already a united front against Lu Yu. Depend on. Kill this guy. It's so arrogant that I can't stand it anymore. Although I thought Lu Yu could win before, this guy, Bai Mo will kill him. Don't he know what the ancient style represents? I don't know how many people were angry. In the main hall, the old man of the Bai clan even narrowed his eyes. I hope he can still be so tough when he kneels on the ground later. At the scene, Bai Mo's eyes were slightly cold. You will pay the price for your words and actions. Bai Mo allows Lu Yu to trample on him, but he will never allow Lu Yu to despise his own physique. When Lu Yu heard this, his face was indifferent. I was telling the truth, okay. I thought he had such an awesome physique. Is this the result? I said 3 shots before, now, there is one last shot. Lu Yu stared at Bai Mo. His words made Bai Mo's eyes extremely cold. Good. After the words fell, Bai Mo roared angrily. The next moment, a huge shadow appeared from behind him. The power of blood. Lu Yu wanted to kill him with 3 spears, so why didn't he want to kill him with 1 sword? At the moment, Bai Mo didn't hesitate and directly used the power of blood. The moment the shadow appeared, black and white mist enveloped everything. The shadow was in the mist, with light flowing in its eyes. And as Bai Mo swung his sword, the black mist also condensed into a sword in the hands of the phantom. Still playing with swords? Lu Yu was happy. You don't mind me playing with swords, right? If you are confident that your swordsmanship is superior to mine, you can naturally use it. Bai Mo's face was expressionless. My swordsmanship has already reached the Grandmaster level, how can it be compared with ordinary people? But Lu Yu didn't care at all. Swordsmanship? My swordsmanship is just barely a Grandmaster, too low. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 353. As soon as the red electric gun was thrown away, an ancient bronze sword appeared in Lu Yu's hand. Bai Mo's expression changed slightly when he saw the bronze sword. With his understanding of swords, this sword is extraordinary. It's just Lu Yu's clenched posture. The corner of Bai Mo's mouth twitched. The way Lu Yu held his sword looked like he was holding a stick. With 1 sword, I will kill you. Lu Yu was extremely confident. Sword showdown? Sorry, I'm going to crank it up. Bai Mo did not respond to Lu Yu. He was too lazy to speak. Facts speak louder than words. No matter how much you say, it is better to speak with a sword. Boom. In an instant, the shadow behind Bai Mo became extremely bright. The black and white light seemed to evolve everything. The shadow held a sword in his hand and stared at Lu Yu, as if he was about to enchant him. Lu Yu sighed helplessly. Why bother? It's still a dead end. As he spoke, the golden energy and blood on Lu Yu's body suddenly spread out like a vast ocean, covering the entire Tianyun mountain range. The golden energy and blood seemed to have turned into an ocean. On the other side of the ocean, a shadow was trudging over. The figure seemed to be passing through the years, pushing through layers of fog and approaching. There was a whisper, and this time, Lu Yu found that he could actually hear something clearly. No end, no beginning, return to unity. Drowsily, Lu Yu could only hear the sentence clearly. Others are blurry again. Strangeness. Lu Yu was confused. At this time, the shadow was already very close. A golden light covered Shui Ying's body. Can't look directly, can't look directly, can't see its face, everything seems to be blurred. When everyone saw this golden shadow, they were instantly stunned. Is this the power of Lu Yu's bloodline? Bai Mo was also stunned. He looked at the shadow behind Lu Yu, and for some reason, he felt a sense of awe in his heart. I don't even have the desire to go see it. What's this? Bai Mo was horrified. What kind of bloodline is this? Lu Yu already looked calm. Hey, I'm forced to be helpless, I'm forced to be helpless, why do you have to force me to pretend? I, Lu, have never been the kind of person who likes to pretend. Why bother? Of course, Lu Yu also restrained his aura. Otherwise, when the power of blood is really released, there is no need to take action himself, and these guys will all kneel down. It's better to keep a low profile. The gods have disappeared, I have no background now, and even the slaves have betrayed a lot of them. You can only rely on yourself. Lu Yu looked at Bai Mo with a sigh on his face. Are you still fighting? Even though Lu Yu didn't release his breath deliberately, Bai Mo was extremely scared now, let alone He Wu next to him. The Bai clan is not a slave clan, but the Helling clan is. He Wu felt Lu Yu's aura at this moment, and for some reason, he always had the desire to kneel down to him. Almost uncontrollable. If Huozwan hadn't woken up and bit the tip of his tongue, he might have kneeled down subconsciously. And Bai Mo's situation isn't much better now. He feels the suppression that comes almost from his bloodline, and his heart is already trembling. However, Lu Yu's words inspired the fighting spirit in his heart. Come. Boom. Bai Mo swung his sword. Seeing this, Lu Yu shook his head. If you have to force me, just use 80% of your strength this time. Casually, Lu Yu swung his sword. The next moment, the figure behind him, who seemed to be shrouded in the fog of time, also swung a sword. With one sword, it seems that time has been separated and eternity can be seen. Chapter 0272 Bai Mo is defeated, life is as lonely as snow. One sword seems to have separated the years and seen eternity. The moment the phantom behind him drew his sword, everything around him seemed to be blurred. Time seemed to stop at this moment, and there was only the sword left in the world. What kind of sword is this? A sword surged forward, as if tearing everything apart, and the world was clearly divided into two pieces. Above is the sky and below is the earth. And between the heaven and the earth, is the white sword energy, sweeping like a vast ocean. At this moment, Bai Mo felt as if the world had collapsed. The sword he swung was already destroyed before it came into contact with Lu Yu's sword energy. What was destroyed was not only the sword energy, but also the phantom behind Bai Ye. Impossible. The shadow behind Bai Mo seemed to have a glimmer of consciousness, and a scream was heard. The next moment, the shadow collapsed into black and white mist. And the black and white mist is also dissipating quickly. Lu Yu's sword has not really landed yet. Bai Mo has already given everything he has. Countless people who saw the scene had dull eyes. They never expected that Lu Yu's sword would be so crushing. If this sword really fell, wouldn't Bai Mo have to die on the spot? I give up. Bai Mo's heart collapsed. He could no longer bear the life and death crisis and knelt down directly towards Lu Yu. He is not a fool. If he goes to the enemy even though he knows he is invincible, he is a fool. In the end, Lu Yu's sword came out grazing Bai Mo's body. Even so, Bai Mo still spit out a large mouthful of blood, and a hideous wound appeared on his chest that almost cut him in half. Behind Bai Mo, several geniuses from powerful clans looked at him in horror. Without any hesitation, they immediately dodged. The same was true for Hua, but just when he wanted to move, he found that he couldn't move at all. A force restrained myself. You. Hiwu looked at Lu Yu in fear. Lu Yu had a joking smile on his face. Bai Mo has already admitted defeat. These are 20,000 star cores, killing Swikii. You can't kill other geniuses from powerful clans, and you will still lose money if you kill them. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 354. Only you, a traitorous slave, let him die. Hiwu noticed the murderous intent in Lu Yu's eyes and was instantly horrified. No. He used the power of his blood without hesitation, but what made his hands and feet feel cold? His own bloodline could not be activated at this moment. How is it possible? He was horrified and wanted to struggle again. The next moment, the whole person was cut in half by the sword energy. Boom! The sword energy finally fell on the ground. Amidst the trembling sound of the earth shaking, a deep crack appeared in the middle of the 1,000-meter-high Tianyun mountain, penetrating to the ground. The power of a sword is so terrifying. Everyone couldn't help but tremble when they saw this scene. Especially those geniuses from powerful clans were sweating all over. Fortunately, he and others had just escaped. If he hadn't escaped, Hua would have been the best outcome. There won't be any suspense. Countless people looked at Lu Yu and Bai Mo, who was already kneeling, and their teeth chattered. At the bottom of the mountain, I don't know who was the first to kneel down. In an instant, all the geniuses knelt down towards Lu Yu without any hesitation. Joke. Bai Mo is on his knees. Hiwu didn't even resist and was gone. If you and others don't kneel now, what can you do? Escape? Don't be ridiculous, the game is not over yet, I will chase you to death. You didn't even have a chance to admit defeat. The geniuses from the entire first area were watching at the foot of the mountain, and they all knelt down one after another. Many geniuses from powerful clans couldn't help themselves when they saw this scene. Everyone is kneeling. If you and others don't kneel, wouldn't it be in danger? Therefore, without any hesitation, many geniuses from powerful clans also knelt down with their bodies trembling. Looking around, there were thousands of people, but only Lu Yu, Lan, and others were still standing. When Lu Yu saw this scene, his expression was joking. He thrust the sword into the ground casually, put his hands behind his back, and sighed helplessly. Why bother? Why bother? If you were a little serious, it would be boring. Lu Yu's words can be said to be pretentious to the extreme. Before changing, someone must have yelled at you for being shameless. But now, no one spoke. What else can I say? This guy is simply a pervert and a freak. Seeing that no one responded to his words, Lu Yu felt even more emotional. Really, life is as lonely as snow. Looking around the world, it's hard to find anyone who can take my sword. This word came out, but still no one spoke up. Lu Yu stood on the top of the mountain and looked around, feeling satisfied. Good. The master's style is already in place. Arrange. 20,000 star cores, I will spare your life. Lu Yu flicked his hand, and a piece of white paper fell in front of Bai Mo. The blood dripping from the corner of Bai Mo's mouth instantly dyed the corner of the white paper red. I want to know how much force you used in that sword strike just now. Bai Mo's face looked a little sad, and he looked at Lu Yu in confusion. Seeing this, Lu Yu pondered for a moment. It should be 80% of the force. To be precise, it weighs 7.99999. Lu Yu looked serious. When Bai Mo heard this, he couldn't help but cough up a mouthful of blood again. There was no nonsense. He used blood as ink and wrote a note on the white paper with his fingers. Now, is it okay? Bai Mo smiled miserably. Lu Yu nodded after hearing this. He originally wanted to accept Bai Mo as a deposit, but he thought about it. After all, it is the largest clan. It is impossible to lose face for the Star Corps, right? Okay, go ahead and challenge me next time you have time. Lu Yu put away the white paper with a smile. When Bai Mo heard this, he had already turned away, but he still couldn't hold back and vomited blood. Next time, will I continue to give you Star Cores next time? He took a deep breath and teleported away. Bai Mo's departure can be said to have caused an uproar. This means that Bai Mo has been eliminated. Really lost. 3 moves, from beginning to end, Lu Yu really only made 3 moves. Even if Lu Yu hadn't stopped in the last move, he would have died on the spot. The live broadcast room was filled with shock. I just can't believe this is the truth, Ancient Ti lost. That sword has not really fallen yet, Bai Mo has already lost, too scary. Bai Mo was defeated, and was defeated by Lu Yu at a low level of the 3rd level. The same level of myth is no longer. I really feel like I'm seeing a vision. I don't know how many people were shocked, and some even collapsed. As the inheritor of the largest clan, Bai Mo can be said to have status, strength, talent, and everything. He is regarded as an idol by many warriors and the goal of their efforts. But at this moment, his idol was defeated. The person who defeated him was still at a low level, and he won with just 3 moves. It's like a dream. No one thought that Lu Yu would win against the ancient-style Bai Mo. He even won with such ease. At the same time, there was deathly silence in the main hall. A smile appeared on the God-given queen's beautiful face. So what about the ancient style? We still lost in the end. Chapter 0273. The game is over, mother and daughter. So what about the ancient style? We still lost in the end. The sarcasm of the God-given queen is self-evident. It's just for the Bai clan. The old man from the Bai clan's eyes were about to burst at the moment. He looked at Lu Yu, who was still busy asking people to sign a document in the picture, and slapped the table and chair and stood up. This boy. The winner is already determined, there is no need to argue. The Lord of the Galaxy Palace spoke up and interrupted the old man. She could see that the old man was very angry and wanted to kill Lu Yu. But, this is the territory of her Galaxy Palace after all, and Lu Yu's talent, she must protect him. With his talent, perhaps this Galaxy group will compete. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 355. The Lord of Galaxy Palace became more determined. When the old man heard this, he clenched his fist tightly. He really wants to take action now and kill that junior. However, the Galaxy government will never allow itself to do this. In the end, the old man could only sit back angrily. There was deathly silence in the entire hall. No one expected that Lu Yu would win. One Bai Mo who has an ancient body. Still crushing it with such ease. This is so dreamy. After all, Bai Mo is the #1 genius of the Bai clan, and he has also revived the ancient body. It can be said that it is an absolutely invincible existence in the same situation. Not to mention, he is 3 levels higher than Lu Yu. It's a complete crushing. But the result was, he was crushed. Lu Yu's sword strike made even the many powerful men present secretly frightened. If Lu Yu grew up to be in the same situation as himself and others, no. According to this trend, maybe we don't even need to be in the same realm. Maybe he is a level lower than himself and others, but this sword can kill him and others. It's so scary. Mu Qing's face already showed a gentle smile. She looked at Lu Yu's figure in the picture and was filled with joy. Who says we at Orion College are inferior to others? I'll still hang you rich people up and beat them. Lu Yu didn't know much about the outside world. At this moment, he was busy establishing written evidence. You geniuses from strong races are all ranked highly in your racial rankings, so I won't say anything more. 10,000 star cores per person. Lu Yu smiled broadly. When the 7 or 8 powerful geniuses heard this, their bodies trembled instantly, but they still gritted their teeth and agreed. There is no way, the form is stronger than the person. If I and others don't agree, what awaits me and others is probably Lu Yu's sword. That would really be asking for death. Several people started to set up signs at the same time, and Lu Yu looked at them a lot, and his expression became interesting. Yo, I found something different. What race are you from? Lu Yu suddenly pointed at one of the young men shrouded in black mist. When the young man heard this, his eyes changed. Tanja clan, what's wrong? There was some caution in his tone. Lu Yu nodded after hearing this. Tanja clan, then you don't need to establish a written document. No need to stand? The young man was stunned. Others were also surprised, and then thought of something. Most likely, this Lu Yu has something to do with the Tanja clan, right? That's why I let this guy go. Suddenly, many people looked envious. But the genius of Tanja clan is very confused. Why don't I know what the relationship between my clan and Lu Yu is? While he was thinking, he suddenly felt a chill on his neck. The next moment, his body still standing appeared in his sight. You. The young man reacted and looked at the sword in Lu Yu's hand, his eyes already gray. The headless corpse fell down spouting blood. Everyone else was shocked by Lu Yu's move. Digging was alright, why did he kill someone again? Seeing this, Lu Yu smiled brightly. Don't worry, everyone. As long as you give the star core, I, Lu Yu, will definitely not embarrass you. Why the killer is simple. 2 slaves, if they don't die, who will die? Everyone. Faced with a life and death crisis, they established evidence faster and faster, and even deliberately added some star cores. As soon as the blank paper was handed over, everyone looked at Lu Yu with fear. Lu Yu took it and took a look, his expression slightly surprised. Good guy. Very good. Do you still know how to add money? Go ahead, go ahead. Lu Yu waved. Suddenly, several people felt as if they had been granted amnesty, and they were so excited that they felt like seeing the light of day again and being a new person. Everyone looked at him with gratitude, making him want to kneel down and bow down to Lu Yu twice. Seeing how enthusiastic they were, Lu Yu also smiled happily. It seems that you all like it quite a lot. If you are interested, you can come to me privately next time. Lu Yu looked at several of the women. Everyone looked at each other and without any hesitation, turned around and left. Joke. I'm mentally ill and I'll do it again. As soon as the powerful geniuses left, Lu Yu looked at the many ordinary geniuses down the mountain. Hey, the number is 1 or 2,000, which is a huge amount of money. Lan was already close to Lu Yu. God, it's so amazing, she said softly. When Lu Yu heard this, he smiled lightly and remained calm. These are all small scenes. If you follow this genius, there will be many big scenes in the future. Yeah, it's just a small scene. Let's meet God for a big scene later. Lan nodded happily. Xing was beside her, looking at the scene in front of her, the shock in her eyes still not diminished. How horrible. It's really scary. The strength Lu Yu showed before was not his true strength at all. Xing couldn't help but tremble inside. In the main hall, the faces of many powerful clans were pale. The genius of our own clan is gone. Now, at least 1/3 of the top 100 powerful clans have been robbed by Lu Yu. There is still half a day left in the game, according to this situation. No need to run. Not only the powerful races, but also the ordinary races don't have to run away. They all owe Lu Yu a huge sum of money. This. Instantly, everyone looked at the Galaxy Palace Master, and the meaning was very clear. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 356. That's about it? There's no point in continuing. The Galaxy Palace Master nodded. Indeed, the final winner has been decided. The actual recruitment of 100 people for this competition has been decided. What's more, there are only 10 people to participate in the competition in this galaxy. If this continues, everyone will probably complain in their hearts. Kingxia, it's enough. The Galaxy Palace Master looked at Elder Kingxia next to him. The girl pulled the Galaxy Palace Master's arm. Then mother, is Lu Yu the first place this time? What do you think? The Galaxy Palace Master smiled. The girl nodded thoughtfully. So, in the expectation of countless strong men, Kingxia came out. A voice spread across the 5 major areas. Attention all contestants, this competition ends early. At the moment the words came out, many strong men noticed Lu Yu's collapsed expression. Their eyes were a little wet for some reason. The genius of my clan escaped a catastrophe. At the scene, Lu Yu jumped up and down on the spot. You. Whoosh. The next moment, Lu Yu was teleported away. A series of teleportation lights appeared, and Lu Yu returned to the original square with a dazed look on his face. Looking at the contestants who survived the catastrophe, Lu Yu looked extremely painful. Damn, my star core. Seeing Lu Yu standing next to them, many contestants were immediately shocked and stepped back one by one. Seeing this scene, Lu Yu sighed. Whatever, there will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Everyone, be a good person. At this moment, Kingxia suddenly appeared. Lu Yu, come with me. After saying that, Kingxia disappeared with Lu Yu without waiting for his answer. In the hall, many strong men still did not leave. As soon as they saw Kingxia appear with Lu Yu, they instantly cast murderous eyes over. Seeing this, Lu Yu raised his eyebrows. Good guy, you actually want to kill me? With a wave of his hand, hundreds of white papers appeared in Lu Yu's hand in an instant. Oh, it's so uncomfortable. I barely got a few 100,000 star cores in this competition. I thought it was so cruel, but it turns out that the so-called genius is just like this. Originally, I wanted to exert my full strength, but in the end. Lu Yu smiled brightly, and matched the white paper he waved in his hand. Suddenly, many strong men couldn't sit still. This is too infuriating. Put the faces of others on the ground and jump and step on them. Especially the old man of the Bai clan, he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of old blood. There is no way, the blood paper of Bai Mo of his clan is too conspicuous. The Lord of the Galaxy Palace sighed when he saw this. This kid is too ostentatious. The girl smiled. Are you Lu Yu? She waved and greeted Lu Yu. Lu Yu also saw the girl. Yo. Kawaii. As for the one next to her, Lu Yu couldn't see through it. The face of the Galaxy Palace Lord seemed to be covered by a layer of rules, and he couldn't see anything clearly. Lu Yu, hello. The Galaxy Palace Lord looked at Lu Yu. Seeing this, Lu Yu nodded. Hello, Galaxy Palace Lord, what do you want to see me for? It's easy to guess what his identity is. The Galaxy Palace Lord didn't expect Lu Yu to be so straightforward. She smiled, if there is something, there is something. First of all, congratulations on winning the first place in this competition. The Galaxy Palace Lord's voice sounded, and there was no applause around, only the girl was applauding. Very powerful. It's just so-so, mainly because the opponent is too weak. Lu Yu waved his hand, very modest. The strong man, I. The Galaxy Palace Lord also had a weird expression. This kid, is he really not afraid of being beaten to death one day? Come with me, everyone. You can take your own clan geniuses away. Goodbye everyone. Remember to bring the Star Cores back, especially those who were photographed and the first clan. Lu Yu reminded. The Bai clan elder took a deep breath, forced himself to control his desire to attack, and disappeared in the hall in an instant. Others did not hesitate and left directly. Inner hall. The Galaxy Palace Lord looked at Lu Yu with a smile on his face. Until this moment, Lu Yu could finally see her face clearly. So beautiful. Lu Yu was shocked. The Galaxy Palace Lord was indeed very beautiful, and the whole person looked very young. This kind of youth is not superficial youth, but the breath of life is very young. My mother is beautiful, right? The girl was proud. This remark shocked Lu Yu again. Mother? This. The Galaxy Palace Lord obviously noticed Lu Yu's puzzled gaze, and his face flushed slightly, but soon returned to normal. Mingzi is a child I took in back then. I asked her to call me sister, but she insisted on calling me mother. I had no choice. So that's how it is. Lu Yu had an expression of sudden enlightenment on his face. A young sister, and a younger sister who calls sister mother. This combination, this appearance, I'll just take a look. You're kidding. Hongfei almost tortured me to death. Wouldn't it be easy for the Galaxy Palace Lord to kill me? Lu Yu, I called you here mainly to talk to you about something. What is it? Tell me. Lu Yu became casual. Because he found that the Galaxy Palace Lord was also a very easygoing person. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 357. Sitting on the chair now, these big white legs, are perfect. However, her next words made Lu Yu tense up instantly. Chapter 0274. Damn, it's so dangerous, copying the Lord of the Galaxy Palace. I'm a little curious about your bloodline. The Lord of the Galaxy Palace looked at Lu Yu curiously. Lu Yu's heartstrings tightened instantly. Did you notice something? Lu Yu was extremely nervous. Your own divine bloodline is currently one of the most important things you need to hide, second only to the system. But now it seems that it has aroused some curiosity after all. For example, the Lord of the Galaxy Palace in front of him. My bloodline? It's just an ordinary bloodline, Lu Yu said casually. Even he himself doesn't believe this. There was also a hint of confusion on the face of the palace master of Sing Sing Palace, but she hid it well. There is no need to ask too much about this kind of thing. Everyone has secrets, and if you want to find out too much, it won't be beautiful. Well, Lu Yu, are you willing to participate in the competition in this galaxy? The Lord of Sing Sing Mansion looked at Lu Yu, his beautiful eyes full of expectation. In response, Lu Yu wished he could just nod his head and say yes. It is. Didn't you come here because you wanted to get the qualification to go to the Great Wall? Now that the first step has been taken, there is only one step left. But if you are too proactive, you will look cheap. Lord of the Galaxy Palace, there should be a lot of good things, right? This, Palace Master, my place may be a bit Lu Yu looked embarrassed. The Lord of Galaxy Mansion smiled. Do you have any difficulties? I can help you solve them. Really? Can you really help me solve it? Lu Yu wanted to ask this question, but considering that he was likely to be beaten to death, he sighed helplessly. There are not many problems that need to be solved, just a few, such as my debts. If those guys don't pay back, I will have to collect the debts one by one. With my strength, the road to debt collection will definitely be difficult. Also, those races must be unhappy with me now. What if they want to assassinate me? Besides, cultivation is also a problem. It's such a waste of resources, and I'm relatively poor, hey. Lu Yu said a few words in one breath, which made the Lord of Sing Sing Mansion stunned on the spot. What do you call this? This. The Lord of Sing Sing Mansion took a deep breath, and after thinking about Lu Yu's strength, he could only nod. No problem, I will help you solve all the problems you mentioned. Really, Lu Yu had an expression of disbelief on his face. The Lord of the Galaxy Palace nodded. Real? Did I agree so easily? If I had known I would have gone too far. Lu Yu thought secretly. The Lord of the Galaxy Palace was already looking at Lu Yu again. I can guarantee you your debts and safety issues. As for the resource issue, Galaxy government will also provide you with the resources you need. Give me the resources I want? I don't know what kind of resources it is. Lu Yu had a smile on his face. He was a little curious about what good things the Galaxy Mansion could come up with for him. In response, the Lord of the Galaxy Palace pursed his lips and smiled. Don't worry about this, it will satisfy you. Okay, Lu Yu nodded. Since the Galaxy government wants to promise resources to itself, it must be quite amazing. After all, Galaxy Palace is also the highest institution in the entire galaxy. Lu Yu even felt that the star cores were worthless. In practice, tens of thousands of them were used together. Perhaps Galaxy Mansion can give itself something better? Etc. Lu Yu suddenly realized that he had overlooked an important thing. I haven't copied it yet. Thinking of this, Lu Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. The Lord of the Galaxy Palace doesn't know what state he is in. Without any hesitation, Lu Yu issued an order to the system. System, scan the Galaxy Mansion Master. Ding. Found a Saint-level power? 1. Found a Saint-level weapon? 1. Tai Realm combat skills? 1. Insights into the Tai Realm laws? 1. The coat of the Palace Lord's clothes? 1. The lining of the Palace Lord's clothes? 1. Lord's clothes and underwear? 1. The sound of the system did not surprise Lu Yu at all. You are still you have never let me down. System, copy everything. Please make contact between the host and the copied person. Contact, right? A bright smile suddenly appeared on Lu Yu's face. Master of the Palace, I am ready to fight on behalf of the Galaxy Palace. With me, Lu Yu, here, the Milky Way Galaxy Palace will definitely take first place. Lu Yu spoke with great confidence, and at the same time extended his hand to the Lord of the Galaxy Palace. A smile appeared on the face of the Lord of the Galaxy Palace. Okay, then welcome to Galaxy Mansion. As she spoke, she extended her hand. The moment Lu Yu shook hands with her, he directly activated his copying ability without any hesitation. Ding! The copying is successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Saint-level power. 1. The Saint-level weapon? 1. The attribute has been superimposed on the red electric gun. Tai Realm combat skills? 1. Enlightenment on the law of Tai Realm, 1. Palace Lord's Clothes Jacket Glory Collector's Edition, 1. Palace Lord's Clothes Lined Glory Collector's Edition, 1. Palace Lord's Clothes and Underwear Glory Collector's Edition, 1. The system sounded again, and this time, Lu Yu smiled a little more. Great. Direct copying success. Saint-level supernatural power, Saint-level weapon attributes. And, the fighting skills of Tai Realm. Lu Yu had never heard of Tai Realm. No need to think, it must be an extremely awesome realm, still far away from him. Of course, these are not the highlights, the highlight is the following: a set of clothes. I laughed. If it is sold on the black market, the price will not be much, 10,000 star cores, right? In summary, there are two words. Great profit. Lu Yu was already in a good mood. It was not until the Lord of the Galaxy Palace coughed that Lu Yu reacted. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 358. I giggled on the spot for a long time and didn't let go. The girl next to her giggled. Lu Yu, you held her for so long and still smiled so happily. Do you like my mother? Lu Yu. The Lord of Sing Sing Mansion also turned red. She returned to her previous calm state. The competition in this galaxy group will start in 30 days. You can come to the Galaxy Mansion tomorrow to prepare in advance. Lu Yu nodded. He thought of something and spoke tentatively. Master, the first place in the competition in this galaxy can be sent to the Great Wall, right? When Lu Yu said the word Great Wall, the Lord of the Galaxy Palace was stunned for an instant. How do you know this? The God-given queen told me, Lu Yu answered truthfully. The Lord of Sing Sing Mansion nodded when he heard this, and after a moment of hesitation he said, that's true. There are only 10 places. Her eyes became more suspicious. Why does this little guy care about these things? What is his relationship with the Divine Queen? Why did she tell Lu Yu these things? The expression of the Lord of Galaxy Mansion was changing, and Lu Yu had already left. The girl waved to Lu Yu. Lu Yu, come to Sing Sing Mansion early, I'll play with you. Good. Lu Yu nodded casually. This girl is indeed very beautiful. I will take pictures of her in a few days. Best, catch them all in one go. Lu Yu left the inner hall. In the outer hall, Goddess Queen and others had been waiting for a long time. When they saw Lu Yu coming out, they all came to greet him. Chapter 0275 Leaving Galaxy Mansion, Gambler Zouqi. Lu Shen. Lan was the first to pounce and got into Lu Yu's arms. Lu Yu touched Ian's hair and looked at the godsend queen and others. Both Xing and Dean Muqing were there, obviously waiting for him. Lu Yu, congratulations on becoming the first. Muqing looked at Lu Yu, his eyes were very pleased. Lu Yu's ability to win first place is the happiest thing for everyone. Xing also had a smile on her face. Lu Yu won the first place, not only him, but also himself got a place to enter the Galaxy Mansion. This made Xing happy, but she also admired Lu Yu extremely in her heart. Lu Yu was a student of the 3 major colleges, but he was able to defeat by Mo, the first genius. The gap between them cannot be described by the chasm. It's a world of difference. Xing even had great confidence in Lu Yu's ability to win the first place in the local Galaxy Group competition. There is no way, this guy hides too deeply. Every time he solves an opponent, his casual expression makes you have to wonder whether he is serious about taking action. The dean of Yingxian College also looked closely at Lu Yu. Suddenly, she took a step forward and said with a smile. Lu Yu, I wonder if I can invite you as a guest to our Yingxian Academy. Lu Yu was shocked when he heard this. The dean of Yingxian College actually invited him to Yingxian College? Good guy. Does Lu Yu have any reason to refuse? Not at all. Easy to say, easy to say. Lu Yu nodded quickly. Just kidding, this is the best time to show off my genius personality charm. Many sisters from Yingxian Academy are still waiting for me. When Yingxian Academy saw Lu Yu's immediate agreement, they also had happy smiles on their faces. Then Lu Yu, when exactly do you have time? Tomorrow, Lu Yu replied. He has now planned his trip. Go back to Orion College, then to Yingxian College, and finally to Galaxy Mansion. After practicing hard for a month, you can defeat all enemies in this galaxy, and then, you can go to the Great Wall. Lu Yu is still thinking about what is left of the Moon God Heavenly Court. If you get one at random, you have to take off on your own. Lu Yu felt slightly excited. Dean Yingxian became happy when he heard Lu Yu's words. Okay, we agreed tomorrow, we'll be waiting for you then. With that said, Dean Yingxian was about to leave with Ziying. Ziying waved to Lu Yu. Lu Yu, see you in the academy. She blinked her eyes, a little reluctantly. The feeling of following Lu Yu was really great. There is no need to worry about anything, Lu Yu can sweep everything. The two left, and the God-given queen looked at Lu Yu. Then shall I leave first? This time, she did not deepen the prefix, mainly because Lu Yu had said hello before. After all, this is still the Galaxy Palace. If the Lord of the Galaxy Palace notices something, I'm afraid I might be in some trouble. Even if she doesn't embarrass herself, Lu Yu doesn't want others to know. Of course, someone may be able to discover their own anomalies in the future. After all, the gods actually existed back then, and perhaps some ancient beings could identify them. Lu Yu hasn't worried so much about this yet. We have to ask the system about this matter later. The God-given queen left, but Lan did not leave with her. Lu Yu, let's go back now. The smile on Mu Qing's face was very gratifying. Lu Yu nodded when he saw this. Let's go, Dean Mu. Several people boarded a warship. This warship was not taken away by the God-sent queen. It was one of the main ships. Right now, even Mu Qing is logging in for the first time. She looked extremely surprised when she saw the warship. This kind of warship should belong to the God-given tribe, right? Yes, that's right. Lan nodded, and then placed dozens of star cores. The next moment, the warship started instantly and turned into a stream of light and left. During the time when Lu Yu went to Orion College, the news of Bai Mo's defeat had already spread. In other words, as early as the moment when Bai Mo was really defeated, the news spread throughout the galaxy in an instant. Almost all the slightly stronger races got this information. I don't know how many people were struck by lightning, like a fairy tale. How is this possible? This is too unbelievable. Hasn't Bai Mo been invincible in the same realm for a long time? He actually lost. Oh my god. The ancient body was defeated. What is the origin of this Lu Yu? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 359. It's so scary. So many races have received the collection notice from the Galaxy government. Does the Galaxy government completely regard Lu Yu as its own son? The entire Milky Way was extremely lively on this day. The three cantilevers, the central area, and other areas. I don't know how many people were shocked by the news and couldn't speak for a long time. Especially some people who regarded Bai Mo as an idol, they were even more devastated. Bai Mo, who was known as the Invincible in the same realm, was defeated, so how strong is this Lu Yu? Perhaps, the Milky Way is no longer his stage. Is his goal to compete with this galaxy group? Blue Star. The Lord of Fire and a group of senior executives sat at the conference table, drinking tea leisurely. As expected, ah. Zouqi blew the tea, his expression was extremely proud. Others cast admiring eyes at him. Zouqi, when it comes to gambling, you are still the best. The Lord of Fire gave Zouchi a thumbs up, and Zouchi smiled calmly. That's not true. From what I know about Lu, this guy can't lose. Hee, the result of this bet is out. According to the odds of 1:100, everyone here has made a fortune. Ha ha ha. Zouchi's voice made everyone around smile. For things like Galaxy Mansion's enrollment, there is of course a bet. This bet is open to all regions of the entire Milky Way, and anyone can bet. When Zouchi saw that Lu Yu also participated, he directly encouraged everyone to bet on Lu Yu. He even sold his house and took out his coffin book to bet on Lu Yu. Lu Yu vs by Mo, odds 1:100. Directly return 100 times the investment. The whole hall was full of laughter. I just think Lu is promising. Ha ha ha, he really didn't disappoint me. This time he even made money from the coffin board. Yes, it's time to buy a house for my grandson. This is good, ha ha ha. A group of senior executives laughed from ear to ear. Lu Yu in the spaceship had no idea that he had made Yanzu and others rich without them knowing it. Now, the spaceship was about to arrive at Orion College. With a slight tremor of the spaceship, the next moment, it arrived at Orion College. Chapter 0276. Is this the life of a genius? Lu Yu, who was heartbroken. Orion College. At this moment, countless people in the entire Orion College were waiting for Lu Yu's arrival. There was no way, what Lu Yu did was too fierce. He beat the top 100 powerful clans and even pressed the #1 genius by Mo to the ground. Isn't this fierce? It was simply fierce to the extreme. At this moment, when they saw the spaceship flying out, countless girls' eyes were full of stars. God Lu, here he comes. God Lu is invincible. Before Lu Yu walked out of the spaceship, he heard the overwhelming shouting outside. Looking outside, countless girls were already crazy. Hey, is this the life of a genius? Boring, really boring. Lu Yu sighed and walked out of the spaceship with a calm expression. Below, everyone was completely crazy when they saw Lu Yu walk out. Countless people, both boys and girls, were shouting at this moment. The boys shouted because Lu Yu came out of their Orion Academy and defeated by Mo, the famous braggart. Although Lu Yu was more braggart than him, at least he knew Lu Yu. Wouldn't he be good at bragging when he went out? The girls shouted because Lu Yu's talent and strength were strong enough to crush the genius of the entire galaxy. The key is that this is his classmate, his junior schoolmate. Many elders appeared at some point, looking at Lu Yu with bright smiles. Lu Yu is a great kid. Not bad, not bad. I've always thought he's a rare talent. You old man, you're talking nonsense. You said at the beginning that Lu Yu used too many resources. Old man, you want to undermine me? Do you believe I can tell you all about your shit? Many elders were discussing, and some of them were even arguing with each other. Lu Yu looked at them and sighed. Look, I just made an appearance and haven't spoken yet, but they've become like this. Boring, really boring. While Lu Yu was showing off, a man squeezed over from a distance. Lu Yu. Lu Yu. Mo Yin appeared with a bunch of guns and cannons behind him. Mo Yin, look, we meet again. Lu Yu's expression was very calm. Mo Yin's little face was flushed with excitement. After receiving the news that Lu Yu was back, the highest leader of the station specially asked him to come over. Lu Yu, can I interview you? Ask anything you want. We are so close, don't be polite. Lu Yu waved his hand. Mo Yin nodded and said with a red face. Lu Yu, as the first person in the history of our Orion Academy to defeat the first genius of the Bai clan, and even defeated the top 100 clans, and became the first person in the Galaxy Palace enrollment, do you have any afterthoughts? Afterthoughts? Lu Yu was stunned, and suddenly thought of something, his expression became extremely painful. Yes, he gritted his teeth. Mo Yin was stunned by this and became more excited. Could it be that there are some unknown things in the competition? Please speak. Mo Yin moved the microphone closer. Lu Yu looked at the camera and felt his heart aching again. I once had a real fortune in front of me, but I didn't cherish it. If God gives me another chance, I will rob everyone before the end of the game. As he spoke, a handful of white paper appeared in Lu Yu's hand. On the way back, I counted them carefully. There were only 400 sheets, totaling 300,000 star cores. Damn, it should have been 3 million. Lu Yu was heartbroken and breathing rapidly. When Mo Ye heard this, he was stunned for a moment. It wasn't just her who was stunned, everyone in the entire Orion Academy was stunned. Even the people behind the camera were stunned. Many Star Masters who were watching the live broadcast had their smiles frozen. You are getting more and more. 300,000 star cores can't satisfy you, right? Thinking about 3 million star cores. You can't get so much even if you rob an interstellar bank. Many people cursed in their hearts, and many Star Masters of the Orion Cantilever arms were even vomiting blood in their hearts. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 360. For some reason, they remembered a bitter past and suddenly felt that there was nothing to be happy about because Lu Yu got the first place. On the contrary, those geniuses are so pitiful. Not to mention being eliminated, he also owed such a huge debt. That's hummed up. At the scene, Mo Yin finally reacted. She looked at the pile of white papers in Lu Yu's hand, especially the red one, and something felt wrong. Lu Yu was crying about poverty. Yes, he was crying about poverty with 300,000 star cores in his hand. I am a person whose monthly salary is 100 premium source crystals. Mo Yin really wanted to beat Lu Yu up. Hey, it's too late to regret. You have to cherish the future. Don't worry, everyone, Lu Yu, will never miss this opportunity again in the future. Really? Lu Yu looked at the camera seriously and spoke seriously, as if he was teaching by example. But, no one can have a sense of empathy. I can't substitute it. This kind of life with 300,000 star cores in hand is unimaginable. Well, it seems you are not interested in these, but you should be interested in this. With that said, Lu Yu took out the note written in by Mo. Red, extremely conspicuous. Everyone looked at the document at the same time. It's stained with blood, these are all made of white ink. As an ancient style, Bai Mo's blood has an extraordinary feeling even if it dries up, and a sense of sadness is conveyed through the lines. Everyone was horrified and shocked when they saw this document. Mo Yin even asked the photographer to bring the camera closer and carefully took a picture of the note. This is definitely today's news cover. Mo Yin even thought about the title. On the first day, the genius by Mo was defeated by Lu Yu and established a written record with blood. No, I can't say it's pity, I should say it's misery. Miserable failure. That's okay, Lu Yu. Mo Yin nodded. Lu Yu hummed, casually collected the receipt, and threw it into the space wrist. This careless movement made Mo Yin's eyelids twitch. That's it for today, I have something else to do later. Mo Yin, I'll treat you to dinner next time, Lu Yu said with a smile. As for Mo Yin, she is still very beautiful. Mainly because she has a sweet voice and a great figure. Mo Yin nodded quickly when she heard this. She was just thinking about how to bring her relationship with Lu Yu closer. After all, looking at it now, Lu Yu's future is unimaginable. If he can build a relationship now, it will be of great benefit in the future. Now that Lu Yu is taking the initiative to invite, Mo Yin cannot refuse. He probably doesn't have any bad thoughts about himself. He seems to have a girlfriend. Mo Yin glanced at Lan, who was standing very quietly behind, and then left with a large group of people. After Mo Yin left, Lu Yu was ready to return to his palace. I haven't seen the little loli for several days, I really miss her. On Lu Yu's side, just when he was about to turn around and leave, a voice came out. Brother Lu Yu, you're doing well. Chapter 0277 Hongfei's Weakness, Lu Yu, I miss you so much. Brother Lu Yu, you're doing well. When Lu Yu heard this, his body froze. He looked back with a bright smile on his face. Sister Hongfei, why are you here? Of course, I'm here to congratulate you. After saying that, Hongfei took Lu Yu's arm into her arms. Depend on. So soft. Lu Yu couldn't help but sigh, but he didn't dare to relax. There is no way, this female devil is too difficult to deal with, I can't suppress it. Yeah, thank you very much, Sister Hongfei. Lu Yu wanted to take his hand out without leaving any trace. But, Hongfei hugged her even tighter. It sticks to death. Lu Yu's arms felt unprecedented warmth. Lu Yu's expression suddenly became calm. Depend on. What do you want to do? Am I really afraid of you? Come on. If you want to come, come. Lu Yu suddenly looked calm and even hugged Hongfei's slim waist. Hongfei felt the hand on her waist, and her beautiful eyes suddenly widened. You. What's wrong? Can't you even touch it? Lu Yu looked indifferent and even patted Hongfei on the butt. Well, it feels really good. Lu Yu sighed. Hongfei's eyes instantly became angry. Would you like to take another shot? Lu Yu's expression remained calm. Take a photo, it shouldn't be a big problem, right? His smile made Hongfei's expression become even more angry. However, Lu Yu's hand was still on her body and did not leave. This. Hongfei was surprised and annoyed. In an instant, she left here with a blushing face. This scene left countless people who saw it stunned. The trenching stone is hammered. The cliff has a leg. Lu Yu's expression was filled with pride. He finally saw Hongfei's weakness. This girl is actually very thin-skinned. It's all because I was too passive before. If you can't do it in the future, you have to change from passive to active. Wonderful. Lu Yu felt that he had escaped from the clutches of the devil, and even held Hongfei in his palm. That's it? Lu Yu looked proud and walked back with Lan. Lan looked at it and pulled Lu Yu's arm. God, that elder Hongfei has a good figure. God, are you feeling well? Lu Yu. Lan actually asked such a question? He even asked if he was comfortable? He was really considerate.